Welcome back to the channel. We are here once again with our 1995 Ford Escort wagon. If this is your first time joining us, there's a playlist for this thing, which I will link right up here, as well as down in the description for you, so you can go get all caught up with the happenings. And happenings there have been. If this is your first step in, you're at the wrong place. Basically, I've rebuilt all the steering, brakes, and suspension on this car all at the same time. So the purpose of today's video is to do what they call in the racing world a nut and bolt session. And that's when you run around the whole car with a big fistful of wrenches and you check all the stuff that you've taken off, or on a race car, you check all the stuff. But on this thing, all the suspension bolts and everything that I've touched, just to make sure they're still tight or that I didn't miss any. I already know that I originally missed a brake line back here on that wheel because I topped off the master cylinder and it leaked everything out overnight. So stuff like that does happen, especially when you're in a big project like this, which for me with filming spans a couple weeks. So it's a good idea to just check yourself before you wreck yourself. Also, I'm going to be bleeding the brakes on this thing and rotating the tires, which is why we're doing it all outside. It's just nice to have a little bit more space. I don't really feel like pulling all the other cars out of the garage to do what really should be about an hour and a half or 2 hours worth of work. So I've already got all the tires off. They're already in the positions they need to go back on. I know I have one sway bar end link that is not tightened. That wasn't I caught it. That was I knew I still needed to do it. So I need to tighten up the right front sway bar end link, check all the other nuts and bolts, and run around it and bleed it. Really the reason I decided to do this was, one, raise your awareness to the fact that you should do stuff like this. If you've got a project car you've done a whole bunch of stuff to all in one shot. And two, this car has a weird brake bleeding procedure. At least for me it's weird. I'm used to all domestic vehicles, and this thing is basically a Japanese car. It's half Mazda, half Ford, but the car part of it is all Mazda. And the way they've divorced the master cylinder reservoirs on this thing is, instead of being, you know, rear and then front divisions like everything else I've ever owned, these things do it catty corner. So left front and right rear are on one circuit, right front and left rear are on another circuit. So to bleed them, yeah, you have to do right rear, left rear, right front. And what I'm probably going to do is end up making multiple laps around the whole car, getting it to bleed, because I did let it run all the way out of fluid due to that pipe I missed. There's not a whole lot more to it than to do it. I will probably chime back in if I see anything of interest that you guys missed out on, or if I see anything particularly dangerous that I screwed up. Otherwise, we'll probably just catch back up when it's time to bleed the brakes. So that all went pretty much as expected. Each caliper hose at the caliper took just a small amount, just a little more tension. That's probably because the copper washers have compression set, meaning that I squeezed them the first time and now they've had some time to sit there and they've permanently deformed to that level. So just a little extra tightness. Won't hurt anything. Didn't see anything else of any particular worry. When it comes back from alignment, I will probably check all that stuff again, because I have had trouble in the past with tie rod ends coming off of my vehicle going down the highway a few days after the alignment shop. So we want to make sure all that stuff is going to be tight and good to go. But otherwise, no real surprises. Next thing to do is start bleeding the brakes, and we're going to start at that corner right there. And if you haven't been following along at all, these are Russell self-bleeding bleeders, which do what they sound like they do. They are automatic bleeders, and they seem to work pretty well, but all the same, I'm probably just going to do this as a temporary step until I can have a human help me bleed the brakes. But the idea here is you just crack the bleeder, and I'm going to put my wrench on, and then put a hose on from a drain pan, so I don't make a big mess all over the place. And I've tied that knot in it just to act as a check valve for air, because even though those are self-bleeding bleeders, every little bit helps. So now I've got it all set up, and the move now is just to crack it loose a little bit, and I've noticed it doesn't take much. So right there was maybe a 30-second of a turn. I'm going to go hit the brakes a few times, and we'll see if it produces any fluid, and particularly any air. So this is me first pump, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll go take a look. I'll probably look at the footage and see what was going on too. Also, a good time to mention you got to check the brake fluid when you do this, as if you guys didn't know. It doesn't look like it took much. Doesn't look like there's any fluid in my hose, so I think I need to crack her open a little more. I'll go try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hopefully that made something happen. So it looked like on my last couple pumps of the last round, it actually did finally start moving some fluid. So I'm going to go pump it up, I don't know, another 10 times or so. Then I'll probably close that bleeder and move up to the left front, because it is the mate for the right rear, which, as weird as it is, that's how it works. So I'll do another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And just for good measure, I'm just going to do one real slow. I actually heard something that time. I'll let it up real slow. Alright, let's tighten that bleeder up and move along. Yeah, now we see we get plenty of fluid in our little fluid trap there. Here we are at the driver's side front. Good opportunity to observe the quality of the powder coating on these power stop calipers. Not impressed with this company. Probably won't be purchasing from them again. We're going to run them and bleed them because that's what I got today. So same drill as the last corner. Got her cracked plenty loose. Give it many pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll probably do one slow. And this one I already did bleed in the garage, so it may not have needed much. Let's take a look at the vidya and see how we did. Let's tighten it up first. So it looks like this guy did a real nice job. It looks like on that final pump, we did get just maybe a tiny bit of air. And that's why we're gonna work around the whole car a couple times. But all in all, things are looking good. These speed bleeders do appear to work pretty nicely. On to driver's side rear. And it's gonna be deja vu all over again. Get our bleeder cracked and go pump on them. It seems like plenty of cracking. Now these corners I haven't even tried, so might be a challenge. Oh, I should probably check my fluid level. Pretty good, but I can top it up. Alrighty, give her about 20 or so, I think. 1, oh, I'm starting to get a good pedal. 2, 19, 20. I'll give it one more real slow one. Alrighty. See how we did. Tighten the bleeder up. Well, that was weird, but it only seemed like it was really moving the fluid for like the first couple pumps and then a little trickle. I'm going to see if I can open this bleeder a little more this time. That should be plenty. You can see it's flowing on its own now. That's why that air bubble at the top's diminishing. Now let's pump it up about 10 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll give it one more slow one to grow on. All right. Close bleeder up, see how we did? I think it's flowing fluid, but I'm not really seeing the kind of flow rate that I would like. So I'm really gonna crack the bleeder open this time. And that's like a quarter turn. Now we're gonna pump it. Give her another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one more. That was our slow one. Get our bleeder closed. See how we did. All right, so there we could finally see it producing a lot of good air. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack it wide open again and pump it up a whole bunch more. Probably not gonna count them off to you guys. We'll speed this up. All right, no matter how that looked, we're gonna move up to the other corner because they're on the same circuit, and we'll see if we can get any air out of it from up there. So I think it may just be going too fast. So it looks like on the slow pumps we're getting a good progress, but the quicker ones we're not. So I'm gonna crack that guy loose plenty, and we're gonna give him slow pumps. That's passenger side front, by the way. That was one. There's two. And there's three. I'll probably do this a bunch more times, but I'll speed them up for you. So that was like, I don't know, 20 or 30 pumps. Quite a few. So that did seem to work much better going slower. So I'm back here at the right rear again. I'm gonna just bleed my way around the car again, just like you guys saw it the first time. And I will do that until I'm confident everything is as good as it can be. And if there's anything weird that happens, I will let you know. I do kind of want to keep watching though. So if you want to keep watching, I'll put them in here. That was right rear, this is left front. Seems to be going good. I actually hear weird things now. So we just got a gang of air out of the left front. This is the left rear, and then we'll go back to the right front. And we're up at the right front for what I think will be my final bleed. This is all going very, very well. Very pleased with these speed bleeders. So that went just like all the other ones, let out a whole grip of air, and then everything was clean and smooth for the most part. Close as it's gonna get, until I get some human intervention anyway, just to double check. But I do like these Russell bleeders, these are cool. They were a little spendy, but they seem to work. Our next move here, let's put our dust covers on them, and these are unique, they're like extra long. And so we'll just keep our fairly expensive bleeders continuing to be bleeders in the future. Go around the car and do that, put the wheels and tires back on it, take it for a drive. So I just took her for a rip around the neighborhood, and boy, she's nice and grabby now. Slows down. I do think my right rear wheel bearing is probably still bad. I won't really know until I get an opportunity to really drive the car around. And right now it's still not been aligned, and I can actually feel it's not aligned when I drive it. Especially the power steering seems to not be very happy. It's fighting. So I don't want to drive it much until I get that done. But this thing's been sitting here for, I don't know, probably 5 minutes since I've been home. And with steel wheels, they don't dissipate heat real quick. Yeah, she's warm enough I don't really want to touch her. And so the wheel's like 145, down the hub, it's like 181. So yeah, I got on its back plenty. We got break-in well underway. Just for fun, let's check the other side. And for what it's worth, all four wheels are pretty warm, including the rear. I was getting on it plenty hard. So we're over the passenger side. Yeah, about the same. Yep, pretty much identical. That's good, that's good, that's good. The rears, just because they're rears and because they're drums, won't be doing as much, but just for fun. 133, what's the drum itself? Can I hit it? As accurately as I can get the drum, about 140. So that's about right. Let's check the other one, just see if it's even. It depends exactly where you hit it, but yeah, about 140, 138, something like that. So we're looking pretty good. Good enough that I'm about to put the dub caps back on it for the first time in like 4 years, because, you know, this weekend I'm going to get to doing all this work, so why put them back on? It's been so long since they were on there, I forgot what they looked like. Not that they're anything special, but I'll take them over black rusty wheels. So now the next move is to get the thing aligned. However, maybe it's due to economic conditions or something I don't even know about, but there's like a 2-week backlog with every alignment shop that I've called. And we get it aligned, we might do kind of a ride-along video just to see how the car is doing with all the new pieces. From the short little laps I took around the neighborhood, I think it's going to do pretty well. So if you're into all that kind of thing, be sure to subscribe so you can come on back and keep up. But guys, that's the end of this video, and as always, I want to thank you for stopping in. We'll catch you on the next one.